this time around for Hacker, not Leyan, and that'll be a nice difference at least. But again, it's about the pick, but I feel like with the Viego, we already said, like, you could have been proactive in some ways, and on the Lee Sin, I'm hoping to see that come out for Hacker, as they do also get the Aphelios for themselves again.
Oh, do we get the pocket pick? Yes! Oh, we get the other pocket pick.
The
so we
better
actually get
pocket
the Rek'Sai
pick,
counter.
Dagda.
Yeah, I love this from Rare Adam. They've already got a very aggressive bot lane, so now you get the aggressive jungler to go alongside it. And Rek'Sai on blue side has so many opportunities to try and play around bot lane because she can wrap around in behind the vision. And Ultra Prime have to be careful that they are defending all their flanks. Renata, though, will be paired alongside this Aphelios, so at least late game, you've got a wonderful combo in that bot lane, but it's the early game you got to worry about.
But it is also a comfort pick for Leyan. It's a pocket pick, as you were kind of saying. It's a huge pickup for Leyan himself and RA in that aggression and the aggressive style that they could potentially go for. I do want to highlight these last bans, though, as it will be the Corki taken away by Ultra Prime, so that mid lane getting a little bit pinched. The GP banned by RA.
Yeah, just trying to make sure that, again, like, things that can kind of corral Rare Adam in the early stages, and also just have great late game scaling they're trying to get rid of at the moment. So maybe we even see a Kayle ban come through, honestly, from Rare Adam as well, just like denying Zoom the opportunity to become that late game monster. But I have to see what Ultra Prime decide to go for here. Maybe something like a Galio or an Azir could be the answer. Okay, Lissandra, yeah. Something that could, like, try and go for these early roams like the Galio was kind of where my head was at for Strive, and I think the Lissandra can fit that pretty well. But Talia still there for Strive, if Strive would like to go towards that, and that could work out very well for them.
Absolutely could. We do get the LeBlanc ban to finalize it. We've gotten a lot of the LeBlanc and Lissandra bans here in these matchups tonight. Let's see how it all pans out in that mid lane, though, as we're still waiting on these solo lane picks for both these teams. And I'm hoping to see a little bit of counter pick that is utilized for Ultra Prime, as that top lane did not go that great for Zoom. Zoom himself, addition to Ultra Prime in the offseason, that I think is absolutely gigantic, but it's about finding a way to play with the composition, with the team, and how they want to find wins in this one, as Azir actually the pickup for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the response is going to be from Strive in that mid lane. Cube, trying to figure out if you... I think going towards the team fight here is going to be better if you want to go towards the Ornn. Viktor, again, could be nice, but I just feel like you have so much early aggression here from Rare Adam between your bot and your jungle. The Viktor probably not going to have a huge amount of impact at the stages where you really want him to. Cube hovering the Jace, which honestly kind of fits into that mid-game Paris spike, and you got a good amount of range, but I think Ornn sets up nicer for the engage tools that you really want to know on Rare Adam's side, because looking at Ultra Prime, like with the Aphelios, with the Azir, the Renata, like, you outscale completely on Ultra Prime, so Rare Adam need to hit the ground running.
And they have picks to do so, right? We've seen the dominance that a bottom lane like the Lucian Nami can have. Leyan getting the comfort of the Rek'Sai coming into this split. We'll be playing it for the first time of the summer split here, and I'm very excited to see how that works out against the Hacker Lee Sin. And we do round it out for Ultra Prime, going with some more scaling there, and it'll be the Kayle.
Yeah, I mean, literally scaling across the board here for Ultra Prime. So, I mean, this is very much hey, that's hands off. Jesus, take the wheel. We're gonna hope for the best here.
But that didn't go for them last time. It didn't work out for them to hold on.
I know, and that's what I'm worried about. I think Rare Adam have a ton of opportunities to make plays. You've got iBoy and Yuyanjia, very aggressive bot lane that Leyan can play around. Strive as well should be able to get good amount of control over the mid lane against Cryin, especially if Leyan is going for these early ganks. And Cube, look, Kayle will have control of that top side, but realistically, all you want is Cube to be that engaged tool in team fights, so you can let iBoy take over with Yuyanjia. So I'm kind of liking what Rare Adam have, just from the perspective of, like, hitting this mid game in their stride, and then trying to see if they can take this 2-0 series over Ultra Prime.
And that's where I just wonder, like, again, I think the question, first of all, begs itself that when we get into the game, what does Hacker look like on this Lee Sin? What do we see the early machinations of Ultra Prime? Because we've already said they're going into the late game. But you've got to have somebody to at least be present in the early parts of the game to make sure you can get to that point. And I think that's where we have to rely on Hacker a lot in this game to do a lot of what Leyan was doing last time, and kind of just holding pressure wherever he can and enforcing some of those decisions to be made by Rare Adam that they necessarily don't want to make. Because we saw when Rare Adam get control of the game, they really don't have anything else they need to do. They can take control. They know how to kind of play through the lanes and especially utilize their power spike. I think that was the biggest thing that stood out to me in that game, was that iBoy knew exactly when he could go for it. Yes, sometimes it was a little bit crazy. All right, I'll give you that one. But it was the fact that you could see the confidence thriving through RA. And as we get into the second game, they might be looking to make it a quick night here and go 2-1 in the season against Ultra Prime, as they are up 1-0 in this best of 3.
Yeah, and again, like Rare Adam should have a decent amount of control. The problem that I see for Hacker in this game is, what 2v2 do you win? Like, if Leyan shows up, you pretty much lose every single matchup across the board, even the 3v3 in bot lane as well. So Hacker has to be so careful with how he decides that he wants to try and play out this game. That's why you can see Ultra Prime getting that early ward down, so Hacker can try and desync from Leyan in these early stages. Looks like with that, Hacker is going to start up on this top side once he spots Leyan on the red on the bot lane.
And do you feel, Dagda, this is kind of keeping it simple for RA in their team composition? I know that's something that we talked about a lot going into this day for them, that we wanted to see it stay simple. I feel like there's some bars of execution for this composition, but all in all, it feels like a very straightforward, straight at you composition for RA.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the biggest thing that we've seen is that they're not over-aggressing on plays, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to make these invades last longer than they should. They're not trying to go for dives where they haven't really got themselves synced up. Like, that's what I would really want from Rare Adam, was just a case of, like, keeping it simple, keeping it easy to execute. And this composition definitely is. So if they can actually play around Leyan, making sure that they can go for these early aggressive ganks, that should be fine.
iBoy is getting a decent amount of damage put on him by ShiauC and Elk in the bottom lane. A little bit of that range advantage so far working out for Elk, but we saw a much different tail to take in this bottom side last time around. Is there a moment where, we could really see Yuyanjia and iBoy find something if they can get the bubble? I feel like is the question we're begging, but it's also about when do we see the jungle pathing kind of lean out this way, as we do have a bit of opposite side pathing for both these junglers. Leyan this time again, the same that he did on red side, going for a full clear. Excuse me.
Yeah, so bot lane, I mean, this Lucian Nami combo kind of just sucks level 1. You don't have all the double taps that you need to actually get the electrocute off. You don't get to proc all the vigilance. So they're going to be waiting for level 3, which is why Hacker is down here. We talked already about Hacker wanting to desync from Leyan so we can look for plays where Leyan can't be in a position to gank. Because you had that early ward from Ultra Prime on towards the red buff of Leyan, they know he's on the top side, but Hacker not going to be able to make the play happen. iBoy and Yuyanjia should hit level 3.
Oh, there you go.
See them start to progress.
Cleanse utilized by iBoy. He wanted to pull the trigger there, but the Calibur's going to help put a lot of damage back into his pocket. I feel like that was one of those moments, iBoy. You might want to be careful next time you do that.
I mean, the exhaust being down is actually pretty good, because you still have Yuyanjia with some decent mana. You can see he's able to heal up iBoy in this bot lane, and now you're about to hit the level 3, so you can look for the all-in. So that cleanse is kind of work getting rid of the exhaust, especially if Leyan off his reset is going pathing back down towards his bot side.
Looks like he's going to go for a little bit of aggression here. See if there's anything up here for him to take, and we'll spot out the Krugs, which second game in a row, Hacker has skipped over on his first clear. Second game in a row, Leyan has not skipped over his, and he'll go up another camp here over Hacker.
I mean, for Hacker, especially when you're a solo starting on this top side, trying to do your Krugs early as a Lee Sin just sucks.
It's
it
really
slows
bad.
your clear down so incredibly much. So I can understand Hacker getting rid of them. And honestly, Hacker probably isn't going to be clearing them for a little while. You can see he's not even bothered heading up towards them at the moment. So you're kind of just resetting that camp for Hacker, which honestly you might be kind of happy with.
Get the level up on the Krugs, it'll be fine. We did get the back completed though from Leyan. We'll get the first buy. It's a Serrid Durek. All right, a little bit of damage coming out for Leyan. He'll be heading down towards this bot side as a reset just came out for the Ultra Prime bottom laners. So won't be much down there for him to get. We do have Dragon up in 20 seconds though, and it has been a bit of an early objective game focus for both these two teams if they want to get the first to start stacking.
Hacker's only going for his first reset now, so Leyan might have a window of opportunity to make some plays happen on the spot side, especially I think with this wave in the position that it's in, may cause Ultra Prime to overextend. I didn't quite see, oh no, it doesn't look like it, or the Rare Adam got the freeze on bot lane, so it will actually just slow push out. With Strive TPing into the mid lane and Cryin will need to match this, otherwise they can try and set up for a dive on bot lane with this wave that Rare Adam are building up.
Yeah, and we do see exactly that. Look at that, big brain Dagda is on the case. We do see Leyan in the mid lane, though, hovering around this area. We do see Hacker actually over there by his Gromp, trying to keep clearing here. But Leyan really wants to get something going here on the Rek'Sai. Can't do so just yet. Just wants to help push this out.
Yeah, they're looking at this big
Out of the Emperor's Divide there. Cryin unable to make it connect.
bit greedy from Cryin, not burn his own flash. Zoom using his flash, though, in response to that Ornn ultimate at the top side. Now, iBoy.
This is trouble. This is trouble for iBoy. The gravitum was huge. Flash from ShiauC will not get the handshake there. And Elk unable to get the kill here. They might still be able to lock down Yuyanjia, though. He has to flash now as well. Gravitum comes out, but it's not enough. The wave will be pushed in, though. And now Elk has red and white. They feel confident.
Yeah, good amount of healing, though, still on the spot side with the Biscuit still in Yuyanjia's back pocket as well. So they should be all right here as we're around to pick up this wave. But burning both summoner spells on iBoy and Yuyanjia, I mean, you need to see Leyan actually start to get in towards this bottom side, because it going even does go better for Ultra Prime as this game goes on, because as we said, mega scaling on the side of Ultra Prime.
And you can see Leyan is coming down this way immediately. They realize they've been pushed up for so long. There is an opportunity down here to punish Elk and ShiauC and potentially get the first objective for themselves. iBoy, though, he might punish him anyways. Elk flashes forward. Elk is going under tower. The bailout is there. First blood goes down, but it's traded immediately back. Yuyanjia gets the kill, and Leyan gets the snipe. It's in favor of RA.
Yeah, the wave pretty much cleared out as well by iBoy, so doesn't lose out too much on that CS department. But nice job by Leyan to be in that position to get the kill. But that's what we're talking about, right? Like, you needed to be there a little bit sooner for Leyan, but unfortunately not able to get there in time off the reset. And you'll see it here, right? Like, nice job by iBoy, a ton of damage put down, but just disrespects the fact that you do have the W coming through from ShiauC. Swelk stays alive, he gets the kill back, and ends up falling to the Nami rather than actually falling to the AD carry. So at least a bit more gold over in favor of Elk.
Will be nice pickup for Leyan, though, on the Rek'Sai. I think that's what stands out the most there for me. I know, like, the trade back and forth, the first blood for Elk, huge. But Leyan getting a kill on this Rek'Sai is gigantic. See if he can continue, though. Hacker trying to make something happen in mid lane will be showing up here, but Rift Herald is getting started up by RA.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, though, Ultra Prime, go for the play on bot side, right? You've got iBoy and Yuyanjia overextended, no summoner spells across the board, and Dragon is up and available. So iBoy and Yuyanjia start to back away, realizing that they're in a bit of a precarious situation, but they got the wave crashed before they had to retreat.
Which is, I would say, a good thing. Hacker, though, I will say, not utilizing this time to do anything else. That's something I find really interesting so far we've seen from Ultra Prime is now they'll be going on to the Dragon. It will still go their way, but the timings are a little bit behind the ball, I feel like, so far today.
Yeah, I mean, Hacker just not actually making any sort of plays. You can see there, now he's starting up the Dragon, but, I mean, he's just been hopping around in Leyan's jungle for so long. Before he started this up, it means that Leyan will actually get to clear his top side, reset, and potentially look for something on this bot side. Now, Hacker can also match the reset and then try and make a play on bot side, but it looks like they're just going to use push and mid to go for the dive.
Yeah, RA don't really have anything to say down here. First divide comes out, tidal wave on the backside. Cryin almost goes down. Hostile takeover utilized beautifully. Wait, the bubble! Hacker's going to go down because of it, and that's a trade back. I don't know if you'll take that all day, but you'll at least take it. The tower place will also go down to Elk, so that's a lot of gold influx into Ultra Prime.
Finally, we're getting something out from Ultra Prime, which will even up the gold. Elk getting some much-needed kills and also the turret plates as well. Now, Strive will get some in the mid lane off the push, but honestly, this is pretty big for Ultra Prime.
This is, and continuing to push there. Leyan can't really do anything as the bot lane for RA come back up the lane there. I did want to highlight before that, right, that we did have a huge CS differential for Leyan on the Rek'Sai, but when you get plays like this for Hacker, it all works out.
Yeah, I mean, this is just really well orchestrated by Cryin. Hacker is in position, but great ultimate from ShiauC as well. It means they get the kill. Unfortunately, you end up going down as Hacker there. Honestly, I think it was a bit of a mistake there from Ultra Prime to kill Nami. I think they could have left that for Hacker, so he could have got the reset and then maybe flashed away, but it's a lot of damage coming through the ramp up on the turret, so maybe it wouldn't have been.
Hey, we'll see how it all pans out in the end. Leyan does show his face mid. Hacker going to match going towards the top side. As Leyan actually going for a little bit of aggression in this fact. Both of them just pass by as the one chicken is going to be there still that Hacker has to clean up. But Leyan is waiting in the bush here, and Hacker realizes he saw a scary monster go into the jungle up there, and he realized he doesn't need to go up there to find out if it's going to be there. It's like the horror movies, you know, when you're in the movie theater and you want to tell them not to go in that room because you just saw the villain be in that room. Well, Hacker was smart and he walked out, but Zoom, not so much. Zoom like got into the house with the villain and is now just about to die because of it. And there you go. Leyan, the villain of the story, gets the kill.
Will just about managed to get out. Hacker, though, trying to respond to the bot side. Has flash and kick Yuyanjia. I don't know if you want to try and test that one there. As bot lane tower will go to Ultra Prime. So, again, we're seeing this Lucian Nami, not only just in this game, but across the board, not really getting the resources that it needs, and not really looking as terrifying as it should in the LPL.
And I feel like when you're picking this lane, it's supposed to be because you want to smash down this mid lane. You want to down smash that thing. But nobody has been putting any focus there. Instead, it's been everywhere else across the map. And here we go with more plates, more objectives being taken for RA in the top side. They don't get the second tier tower just yet. But that Hacker kick will bring Cube back. Hacker's in some trouble, though. Hacker needs to be careful. And here comes the rest of the team to help out. Big Emperor's Divide, and Zoom gets the kill.
And that's kind of what we're talking about. Rare Adam sticking around a bit too long for that top side. This is some of the small mistakes we see creeping in that can cost them. So, kill onto Cube. Tower doesn't go down. Leyan will escape, but Ultra Prime now keeping the gold within touching distance and making sure that Rare Adam aren't actually taking over on the map state so they can try and turn this into a victory. So at the moment, Ultra Prime in a really good spot here thanks to the scaling that they have.
Some decent gold going to RA's pockets, though, here, as you do have decent CS leads in jungle, in mid lane as well. Some of that is diffused, though, because Ultra Prime, especially Elk, has a decent lead in this bottom lane, has the full tower that they already took. We also get the lane adaptations coming out here, where we do see Elk going towards mid lane to prioritize some of that farming there, and Cryin will now assign the side lanes here to kind of clean those up for themselves. And, again, go back to the main win condition for both teams. We set up Ultra Prime are fine. They are vibing. They are chilling. And RA themselves are the ones that need to get it going. Prowler's Call completed there for Leyan. But you've got to get the ball rolling continuously for this RA squad.
And at least at the moment, Ultra Prime are going to try and deny that with this next dragon. They're getting control over the river, but Rare Adam, if they can actually find the fight, this is where they're in a good spot. You got first items completed across the board, as you said. And with Cube being able to find this ultimate, you can find opportunities at these fights. But Ultra Prime can always just look to go, nah, we're not interested, we'll make a play top side. But at least Cube has already pushed that top wave in so deep that it's going to be hard for Ultra Prime to actually find a cross-map response.
We're still under 14 minutes, so plates are still up. We'll see if actually Strive can get one more there. He does get the gold, I believe, at the end of that one. So nice little last-minute pickup here. But it's all about a lot of plates for RA, and that's how they've stayed in the lead in this game, even if we've seen some chaoticness go the way of Elk for Ultra Prime. But all bodies conjoining in mid lane here as we have a bit of a 3v3 standoff. It's going to be meaning that Leyan can take the dragon for RA.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about, though, right? Ultra Prime aren't really able to do anything with the time that Rare Adam committed towards the dragon because Zoom had only just pushed that top side. So now you've still got Ornn is able to rotate back up, he'll clear out the wave and keep this pressure up. And you're looking at Rift Herald again about to spawn. So Rare Adam just translate that pressure bot into new vision on the top end and are going to rinse and repeat on the potential fight that they can take against Ultra Prime.
And I still think that with RA, like, the pick potential is so scary, and they've been so good at moving around the map, it feels like, as a team, even with some of the catch-outs. But here we're going to get a team fight potentially around the Rift Herald, and Ultra Prime are coming in mass. They don't have Zoom here just yet, though, as he needs to come down from the wave and topside, and we have the full might of RA here as the tidal wave comes across. RA not able to get the combo there. As Rift Herald does go down, Ultra Prime realize they don't need to fight these.
Yeah, Rare Adam are okay, though. They get to move back. They should be able to still clear out this mid-wave as well, because you do have Strive who can one-shot it, or even iBoy as well, but Q should be totally alright.
Oh, Zoom. He has to use the Righteous Judgment. The CC still layers, though, and RA, again, it's iBoy on the Lucian. You see the potential there, the damage potential, but it's the range that's coming back to bite them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, like, at the moment, Rare Atom are doing all right here. Like, they don't really need to get the kills. They're kind of getting the Rift Tail and the opportunity to, like, clear open and expose the map a little bit more, which is going to be far more valuable. But if they could have found these fights, if they actually could have, you know, got the Nami wave into the Cube Ultimate, it would have been such a nice gold boon for them. But unfortunately for them, they're just not quite getting these plays to stick.
Not just yet. The duct tape will hold at all for them, as we do have item completions majorly done here as the first items for a lot. Zoom has completed the Nashor's Tooth there himself. Just trying to farm up, has hit the level 11 mark. That's our first check mark. Dagda, I'm smart, I know. It is the Frozen Heart, though, completed there for Cube, getting even more tanky. And I guess this is where I want to ask the question, Dagda, because when it's talking about terms of scale, how much do you value the absolute damage potential that Kayle can have over the ornament that Cube could have on this Ornn? What do you think? Who comes out on top on that?
I think Kayle. Kayle is just so insanely strong. Even, like, it's not only just from the perspective of, like, hey, she does really well in team fights. Like, her split push power is so strong. Like, her ability to take over in the side lane becomes absolutely nuts. Then you look at her ability to output damage in team fights, protect people. Like, say even Cryin wants to go in to start up the team fight with the swoop and boop. Like, you ult the Azir, he gets to go in for free, deal all his damage, and then probably still get away scot-free as well. Like, it's such a valuable combo to have. So it just means that even though you have the ornaments there, the outright potential on not only just the Kayle, but everyone else on Ultra Prime with the scaling as well, it's just going to be so nice.
We'll see the scaling aspects come out. The ornaments have not been started just yet. It's still very early into this game. It feels like the craziness had led it to a lot, feeling a lot more longer, I guess. As now the engage, big hostile takeover. Ornn comes back though, and Ultra Prime are getting a flank here with Cryin. The Emperor's Divide not coming out just yet because they don't need it. They have picked apart RA. Strive has to run away himself. The Gravitum not available, but the damage from Elk is available here, and he'll slowly but surely catch them up as Strive will die to the Aphelios. Oh, he almost dies himself. Cryin in mid lane in some trouble, but will not die as the Sun Disc is there to help save the day, and Ultra Prime come out.
Really nice engage from ShiauC there. Starts up with the hostile takeover, flashes of the wall, so it basically hits point blank and sets up Ultra Prime for that fight. They do end up losing out on just Zoom in the top lane, but getting so much more back was a ton of extra work for Ultra Prime. You see it here, starts it up, flashes of the wall, and iBoy just caught out immediately in the middle of that. He gets no damage off, and so essentially this becomes a 4 versus 5 for Ultra Prime, which is why they're able to win out so heavily.
Yeah, that bailout on Hacker was absolutely huge as well, to be able to save the day. Has less than 200 health after that one. Cryin hit some trouble there, but you know, luckily gets out. Elk almost dies to Strive waiting in the bush, but it's coming up Ultra Prime, and I think that's super important to highlight here is, you know, they still find themselves in a deficit, but it's these team fights, it's the scaling that is getting scary and scary, and it's starting to feel like RA will not be able to have these fights go anyway their way.
Yeah, I mean, the only saving grace is Strive. Like, Strive is going to be very strong come the late game on this Viktor, but it's just how many threats you have on Ultra Prime that are going to be scary. Dragon, though, should go here to Rare Atom, but Ultra Prime contest.
They are contesting. Dragon does get taken out by iBoy. Cryin on the side does have Emperor's Divide available. The Shreema Shuffle in the back pocket. And 5 members of RA grouped up. It's so scary every time I see this Azir next to all those grouped up champions. Like, man, Cryin, I know you want to go in so bad. We'll see the Ornn go in here as catches Zoom on the side. It won't be able to be enough to take him out. It's just the tower defense that comes out from RA. And I don't know if it's going to last that long, though, because Ultra Prime are sticking to mid lane.
Yeah, good job from Zoom not to panic, though. Like, didn't flash. He still had his ultimate there. They didn't use on the engage. Knew that Leyan had no flash to try and follow up on any sort of engage, so ends up walking away for that one. So just gets the ult out. At least still Dragon, though, for Rare Atom, as the timer is ticking away before Ultra Prime come on.
Hacker's on his way up here, but they've already found Cryin. Emperor's Divide still there. There's huge, but the Void Seekers are going to do it. The Prey Seeker helps secure the kill. Leyan gets it, and now they push to the top side. And this is exactly the kind of snowball thing that works out in RA's favor.
Yeah, I mean, nice job there. Strive should be able to take this solo. Just has to be careful for Hacker.
Oh, that's a huge kickback, and Strive is just going to die. He's dragged out. Almost takes down Elk again, but almost is not going to help you in this situation.
I mean, greedy from Rare Adam. They didn't want to commit more people to the top side because they thought, oh, we can get top and the mid lane turned off the push, but it means that they don't get the top lane. They give a kill over to Strive, and Elk as well, and is sitting 4-1-2. His IE going to be completed off this back as well. Like, you're starting to see Ultra Prime leveling up, and these are just small errors from Rare Adam that could almost be good plays, but not quite working out for them.
Yeah, it's the little things that end up adding up in the end, especially as time goes on. Cryin, a lot of resources from RA used to take him out here, but it still comes out with, you know, the pick off onto Strive. Meanwhile, bottom lane back in the live game, Ultra Prime almost making a play on the 2 top.
Ornn is just too tanky at this stage, though. Not enough damage to get through that guy, but you're seeing Zoom very quickly ramping up. Level 13 now for this Kayle. Cryin as well, starting to hurt, so you need people on Rare Adam to actually start making these plays happen. But Ultra Prime are basically just bouncing waves, keep themselves in check. 2.5 minutes until that next dragon, and it's only the 3rd dragon, mind you, as well, for Rare Adam. So the opportunities here for Ultra Prime again to say, hey, look, maybe we don't want to fight this dragon, maybe it's not worth it, maybe we just go instead to try and play towards sides and keep Zoom scaling up.
Yeah, and that 1 5-minute extra added on to the dragon stacking it always blows my mind how impactful it is and how much of a difference maker it can be. As you see, RA just kind of fumbling, trying to figure out what they want to do in this moment before they get resets in, before they set up for this next dragon. Because I will say, Infernal Dragon would help a lot here, and Hacker is going to feel the brunt of that damage. Moonlight Vigil came out big time, but it's still a knock-up CC chain against Elk, and Elk will die. Bailout comes out. He saves the day. Righteous Judgment is there too. No way! Elk is going to survive. The healing coming through, and Ultra Prime turned the scaling on its head. RA are taking it out.
Strive was still in the top lane. He never TP'd in. So again, Ultra Prime just get more members to the play faster. And this comp that doesn't let anyone die with the W from the Renata, with the ultimate from Zoom. And now it's Strive on his own.
Oh, that's a huge pickup. Oh my God, he gets another one. No way. Hacker. Okay. You had to end it there. If Strive pulled out another one, I don't even know what to say at that point. But it is a triple going over. It is big time Cryin and Ultra Prime coming to bat.
Big save from Strive there, denying Ultra Prime the Baron. But, I mean, it never should have got to this position, right? Strive should have TP'd in at this stage. Like, they go for the 1 pick. This is great. Again, 1 nice pick. But they then go, okay, well, now we're going to over-aggress. iBoy is out of the equation. So your only damage here is Leyan, who instantly ends up running into ShiauC. So Elk managing to stay alive here because he gets the reset on the back as iBoy dies. You get the ultimate coming through from the Kayle, and still Strive is just pushing top lane. Like, what did you hope for here? Where's your damage source when iBoy is out of the equation?
Yeah, I will say the get down, Mr. President comp from Ultra Prime is getting a little bit dirty there. But it is a big time movement from Strive. Yes, he does end up dying, but it's to stop the Baron. It's to stop the snowball from continuing to go Ultra Prime's way.
And now, Rare Adam, 10 seconds until this next dragon. Ultra Prime feeling pretty happy the last few fights, so going to see if they can try and contest this one. No flashes on Strive, but everything else up and available.
Comes the TP down. Culling was utilized here. You have the Ornn, you have the tidal wave. The setup is there for RA. This would be sole point for RA as well. Ultra Prime, they don't necessarily need to fight this, but they want to try to burn it down. They want to try to get the timing a little bit worse for RA, but RA need to get into the fight. The Ornn comes down. It's not going to be enough. The Dragon secured RA pick off on the side, though. They get Cryin, and that's a big pickup, but iBoy doesn't have health. The range isn't there, and there's more stacking for Ultra Prime.
And Rare Adam now can push this mid wave and run over towards the Baron, though. You have to face check this as Rare Adam. Yuyanjia still has tidal wave. You still got a lot of damage here on Rare Adam. This is dangerous for Ultra Prime.
Chaos Storm available, the Void Rush available, TP now coming in from Zoom. They want to try to stop this fight, but it is a scary one to do so. Hacker, he gets the kick, but he's just dead. Moonlight Vigil comes across and obliterates Already, one of the members of RA, Strive, goes down, but the Baron is back in target here. Hostile Takeover is actually doing so much work. There's the smite, but it's not enough. Zoom is in the fight now. Triple knockup from the side of RA. Doesn't mean jack diddly squat, because it is Elk that comes out with more kills. It is Ultra Prime who now find themselves in front of the Baron, and they are wanting to bring us the 3 games.
And this is what we said. So many threats on Ultra Prime that even when you deal with one, there's just another one that steps up to take their spot. Cryin out of the equation. Zoom steps up. Zoom goes down and Elk flashes forward. That's the Baron for Ultra Prime. And the late game scaling, oh, it's here, baby.
Rapid fire cannon ain't gonna save you today, iBoy, as he just completed that item, and it's a replay of that fight and RA getting caught out.
Again, though, very split up from Rare Adam. You got Strive, who I think is making the right play, which is to turn and take the fight, but the rest of Rare Adam are still sticking to the Baron. Sets up ShiauC beautifully here to get another fantastic hostile takeover. Gets Leyan out of the equation, and as we said, Zoom steps forward, but now it just opens up for Elk to flash in with the Gale Force and find the kills onto Rare Adam's backline.
Elk is feeling himself in this one. 6-2 and 7. 3 items now completed for the Aphelios, and there is no team fight in which it feels like RA can come out with a win unless they find picks. And even when they did, it still didn't end up their way. And we're 1 level away from Zoom hitting level 16.
I mean, it feels like you need like one big wombo from Rare Adam. Like Ornn into Tidal Wave, straight in with the Chaos Storm from Strive, like basically one-shotting 2-3 members of Ultra Prime. Otherwise, you just have too much damage and too much survivability on Ultra Prime's side. And now Rare Adam hovering around, trying to see if they can find maybe that window of opportunity.
Zoom still farming it up in the side lane. Not much to speak of for RA to do in this moment. You got about 2 minutes for the next dragon to come up. You still have a little bit of time for Baron to fall off of Ultra Prime, and meanwhile, they're just getting poked under tower. Yuyanjia just doesn't have a health bar anymore.
Yeah, tower is gone. Ultra Prime just grouping up and pushing with this Baron buff. Now they're going to rotate over towards the wave on the bottom side to try and take up their next turret as well. All 3 other turrets still standing in the top side, though, means it'll take a little bit longer for them to get through, but you just see there on the minium, or the picture-in-picture, the shots coming through from Elk really hurting this Nami.
That IE really helps, I would say, in the damage profile. It's going to feel really good in these next little fights, though. Zoom has hit that level 16 mark, and even if, you know, Ultra Prime are only up 2,500 gold here, it feels like the lead is much, much bigger than that. And they have had a lot of control around the map. But that's also where you're, like what you were saying earlier, like if RA could find one of these magic combos, like the Avenue perfectly for the Tidal Wave, the Ornn, everything like that, that is where it all adds up for RA. But those moments are few and far between at this point.
But that's why I love the build from Zoom as well. The Banshee's Veil now just completed. It means that if you end up in a position where the perfect Ornn ult comes across, the perfect Nami wave comes across, Zoom will still have time to get that ultimate off, save one of the key members, even having the stopwatch is there for himself. The Zonya's is there for Cryin. Those moments become so much more difficult for Rare Adam to find.
Indeed. Baron does just fall off, although Ultra Prime want to go forward. iBoy has to separate from the rest of his team, and Ultra Prime are coming on the flank here. Cryin wants to come around behind, but won't actually pull the trigger on that one. RA setting themselves up with the group here as red buff taken by iBoy. Ultra Prime are in front of the Dragon Pit, and that's exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, Rare Adam going to take the long way around the scenic route to get themselves in towards River, but, I mean, that just means Ultra Prime are going, okay, cool, let's just shove mid. I mean, if they ever, fully commit to mid, they will tear through.
They found him.
Structures.
Oh, wait. That was a really interesting flash, though, but Leyan is out of there. He has to leave, and now no flash available. They're still in front of the pit, though. iBoy going forward with the dash. There's some of that damage that the Lucian can have, but it's still the range that's the biggest issue. Hacker does hit the Sonic there, but won't do it. The Ornn comes across. The Dragon is the focus now. Kick back, though, onto Leyan. Hostile takeover. Dragon secured by Elk, and the rest of the fight's going to go easy for Ultra Prime. They're moving forward. Elk is feeling confident. They actually back off for a moment as the Chaos Storm came out, and the rest of RA are still in it. iBoy is feeling himself here in this one as he doesn't really have much, and Ultra Prime back out, get the soul point for themselves.
That was all that they wanted. It did get a little bit messy in the back end of that for Ultra Prime, where they end up using all of their survivability in the early stages before the full commit from Rare Adam, but it meant that there was nothing really left in the tank from Rare Adam either. Cube, I think, could have maybe made the hero play there if he'd actually gone for the engage with his E rather than trying to escape. Big knock up into the Chaos Storm might have won that fight, but he tries to escape, and Ultra Prime get the dragon for themselves.
That'll be 1 away from an Infernal Soul for Ultra Prime. Still 2 now away for RA, as they haven't been able to get themselves the dragon since that early little bit. And now it's more so looking at the Baron as the next big objective here, about a minute away from that one. And you feel like Ultra Prime just has all the say in the world to set up vision, set up control around this top side of the map.
Yeah, Strive did get the wave pushed out from top side though, so he's going to TP in towards the mid lane, making sure that they can come in as a unit here on Ultra Prime. Ornn is just up and available. Cryin, no flash. Ultimate still coming up here for Elk as well. Maybe you have a brief window here for Rare Adam, but they're just going to play this slow. Make sure they can actually get that vision control down and spot where Ultra Prime are.
You've gotten 3 items completed as ornaments here now for RA, so they're starting to get some of their scaling. I know we talked earlier, it's not necessarily the same kind of scaling, not necessarily as good maybe as the Kayle will be, but those benefits will help a lot. And we'll see iBoy with the upgraded Gale Force there, trying to have something to say here in this game, but that range makes it so difficult, and I just think that RA, the bar of execution is a lot higher on this composition than we saw last. And they actually find it, though. Yeah, the Ornn across. Hostile takeover is already used, but Elk is about to just kill iBoy. Strive responding in kind, though, says, you want to damage my ADC, I'll get you right back. Ultra Prime, though, with priority in mid lane, we're going to keep pushing up and heal up from this wave. Elk is already going to be back at full health.
iBoy has reset, though, so he gets the healing off, and Rare Adam are still controlling this river. Now Ultra Prime going to move in. Strive.
A bit of damage from Strive. The Chaos Storm not available, so the big AoE isn't there, and Ultra Prime feel confident moving in with 5 around this Baron pit. But again, flips could happen, and flips could go the way of RA. Baron not the target just yet from Ultra Prime. They're kind of moving back and forth between mid lane and Baron.
Keep your eyes on Yuyanjia. Has that tidal wave still there? No ult for ShiauC, which means the only real big survivability tool you have is Zoom. Still will have the W from ShiauC to keep people alive, but if the engage is right, that could be what brings RA the win here.
They're just going to start it up. They know they have the strength here. They're burning it down so quickly, and this is going to force RA's hand. But now Ultra Prime taking it slow. It might not help them as the poke is coming down from Strive here. They are going to pull the tidal wave down into 3, though. Handshake comes out, not going to hit it. Double knockup. This could be the fight for RA. But what about it? The kick from Hacker. Hostile takeover again. But that's a big pick for RA as they've already taken out Hacker.
And that's the thing, you've got the Ornn ultimate up now as well, so Rare Adam starting to get their game plan in action where they can find these engages onto Ultra Prime again. Hostile takeover down, Hacker's dead, Rare Adam moving in. This could just be a bait for the Ornn ultimate.
Could be. Chaos Storm is also available now. You've got all ultis pretty much except for the tidal wave for RA, but the health bars are starting to get chunked here by the Baron. Elk is what you've got to be careful for. Moonlight Vigil, AoE, the Inferno, but Cryin is making it happen first. iBoy using the culling. The Baron is getting so low. The Baron goes down to RA, but afterwards, Ultra Prime getting engaged on the 3-man Ornn ulti, but Zoom is now in the back of the fight. Leyan goes onto the ADC, but ShiauC is surviving for a little bit longer, and Zoom is just shredding the entire team of RA. Strive backs away. Yuyanjia gets away as well, but it ain't coming up aces for RA.
No, Strive is going to get caught. Doesn't have the gravity field. Just puts it down now, but won't catch Zoom. That's going to be it.
Judgment. Oh, my goodness. Just using it to flex on him a little bit. But Ultra Prime are right into the mid lane, right onto the inhib tower.
Yeah, he should be able to hold this, though, with the barred up minions and the wave clear on Strive. He should be able to clear out this minion wave, but he's going to have to put himself in harm's way to do so.
They're pushing. They want to end the game right now? That's an interesting conundrum here for Ultra Prime as they're already onto the towers. They get the Inhibitor's Divide, and here we go. We're going the distance, Dagda. We got all 6 games in the LPL, and we got Ultra Prime bringing it to RA to get us the distance. 6 full games, baby.
We ain't stopping in the LPL here. Great composition from Ultra Prime, taking a nice and easy early game, playing for those late game fights, and they executed perfectly on it. And Rare Adam, you can see there, bit dazed from what they just happened.
Honestly, they should be. I mean, that was a heck of a game plan coming out from RA in the beginning, but Ultra Prime just composition diffed them a little bit there, draft diffed them a little bit there in that one.
Yeah, and this was what we were saying, like, Leyan needed to get active in the early stages, needed to actually help out iBoy in this bottom side of the map, because you could see we got to the mid game, and iBoy was just getting absolutely decimated, didn't have the damage to churn out, was just getting picked apart, and the only reason that we actually saw Rare Adam being able to hold on in any way was because of how Strive played this Viktor. Tried his damnedest, but unfortunately, as we said, you just have one late game carry versus 3 on the side of Ultra Prime. And there's just very little you can do to try and hard carry these fights.
Why are these teams picking Lucian Nami and then not giving them resources? I gotta know. My big brain can't handle it here. I don't know what's going on, but every time we get the Lucian Nami, they just get left out on that island, and you're wondering why you're losing games in team fights, because you don't have the range, you don't have the damage, and your team fight is just not coming to fruition.
But it's even just the control that it gives you on the bot side as well, right? Like, okay, so we get a kill, Lucian can very quickly take a turret. You can move that into dragons. You can turn that into a lot more. Like, the fact that we were kind of looking like 20 minutes into the game and it was like 2 dragons a piece, you're not really getting that control for for Rare Adam. And that's why Ultra Prime could end up leaning so heavily into that late game, just knowing that Rare Adam aren't a team that are going to like explode in the early stages and just take over the game.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing here, and wondering what we get for our third game, if we do get just the early game shenanigans at all, or if it's going to be another long, drawn-out game or so. But it's been a lot of, again, going back to the matchups we were highlighting at the beginning of the day, mid lane, a little bit quiet there. I mean, we did get some pop-offs there in the last one, but it's been centered a lot around the early game machinations of Hacker and Leyan as we come into this.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why they've been able to get so much, well, I suppose they got a ton of control in early stages of game number 1, but game 2, we could still see Leyan was dictating to a certain extent how the early game was happening. It was just a case of like not actually getting to put his resources in towards the bottom lane. Like, he got good ganks onto Cube, you could see them like nearly get the tier 2 in top lane off the Rift outplay, but it's just no damage going in towards the bottom side of the map, and that's why Elk ended up with several turret plates. He was 4-0 coming into the mid game. You can see iBoy's damage just not there from having any sort of impact in the early stages.
And that gold graph is one we have not gotten to see a lot of this night.